Welcome in the latest episode of the Need for Seeds College Basketball Podcast presented by the Bet and Pitch Podcast Network. I'm your host, the real underscore G Warner. I'm with at Big East Ben, and we are here to discuss the Saturday college basketball card for the NCAA tournament. We will leave the NIT to the side for the little brother conferences and all that sort of stuff, though I might be betting it myself. At Big East Ben, how are you feeling after a big night of Friday Night Hoops?
It was a good night. Congratulations to making it to the round of 32.
We've made it. 32 college schools have made it, some more deserving than others. We're to go through the card on Saturday, maybe discuss a little bit of what we've seen so far in this tournament and give you some best bets end of show. So where would you like to start on this episode, Big Ben?
So let's get right into the games because I think our conversation will give flashbacks to the first round. So I want to kick it off with Dayton, Arizona. Spread is 9.5. Over under is 149.5.
Yeah, it's a big number. Dayton with an incredible collapse, then come back to win. I mean, I'm not sure you could write this stuff, but that's what the benefit of a college basketball NCAA tournament will give us. Um, Deron Holmes, the most dangerous player in this game, feels like he's 006 to the 007s out there. Of course, you have Caleb Love, who's going to launch a lot of threes. What do you feel about Arizona, that 9-point favorite with a 149.5 total?
I worry about Dayton's depth. Listen what they did against
Because they
Nevada.
have none. That's why.
Listen, what they did against Nevada was absolutely incredible. I'll be honest, I could not take these days off from work, but I focused. I put a healthy split towards the tournament, but I did miss a good chunk of this game when Dayton was down by 17, and I turned it on when they were down 6, and then they closed the door.
What door do
Incredible
they close? What do you mean?
Nevada's Nevada's chances of
Nevada's trap door, you're saying?
redeeming the Mountain West on day one.
Ouch.
Um, but listen, I questioned their depth. That was a gutsy win. Um, Holmes is skilled, but I just think this Arizona team is too deep. They can turn on whatever they want. I saw Dayton get absolutely like rolled by pressure against Loyola. I just think Arizona wins by double digits. I think I know who you're leaning with in this one.
Yeah, I'll take Dayton.
Yeah, I know you will.
Why do you say that?
This line's this you got to take the dog with this line.
So I think Dayton is the best player on the court in this game. I think Deron Holmes is going to teach some lessons to Umar Ballo. There's a big risk that Umar Ballo gets him in foul trouble. That is a legitimate, no chances, a 0% probability. That is a big concern for me. However, I think, I mean, I don't trust Anthony Grant at all, but I don't trust Tommy Lloyd either. And I feel like he didn't look very good against Long Beach State for a half. I think Dayton can hang in this game. And the longer this game is in doubt, the worse it is for Arizona. And I feel like it goes in the Dayton direction. So give me Dayton a 9-point underdog, and we'll move on to the next one, which I'll start at the top because I would like to host. And we'll go Michigan State and North Carolina. North Carolina only a 3.5-point favorite at Bet Online. If you're not a member yet at Bet Online or Sportsbetting.ag, go take a look at the links in the podcast description. You get 50% bonus at Bet Online for a first time deposit and 100% up to $500 if you deposit at sportsbetting.ag. So, UNC, a 3.5-point favorite to Michigan State. Total 140 and a half.
It's too short. It's too short. I mean, North Carolina's a more talented team. They got Davis, they got Baycott. Um, yes, Michigan State shot out of their minds against Mississippi State. I picked Michigan State in that game. but yeah, the run ends here for Izzo. He got his win in the 8-9 game. Give me North Carolina. Just too much talent. Just too much talent. And this Michigan State team has continued to defy preseason expectations. And I don't think a win against Mississippi State changes that. What say you?
Why is it 3.5? That seems very short.
That's the last line I saw. What do you see?
Why is it 3.5? That seems very short.
That was what I saw. What do you see?
I heard what you said. I'm asking you, why would a 9 seed like Michigan State be only a 3.5 point underdog to North Carolina in Charlotte in the second round of the NCAA tournament?
I don't know. I thought it would be higher. That's why I'm betting North Carolina.
I think we all did. And I will bet with the market here. I'll take Michigan State plus 3.5 because I think they're going to upset North Carolina.
Really?
Move.
Why? Want you to give me evidence? Why? Want to back up your recommendation?
Sure.
And just being a smartass and having a quick quip at the end and go to the next game.
Uh, well, I mean, that's what I've done for literally a season's worth of episodes. So I don't think it's that different. But sure, I mean, if you want, I'll entertain your little question for my quip. So my dilemma, I don't think North Carolina is very good. I feel like
Okay.
they have played in a conference that has been an absolute joke to all of the rest of the world. I think their big man has stayed in college basketball for 5 years because he was supposed to go after 1 year, but the NBA said, LOL, we don't want to draft you at all. I think their point guard, RJ Davis, is awesome, but I think he has nothing else on his team besides literal, like fucking, excuse my French, that's not what I mean to do on these podcasts, but literal stiffs on the rest of that roster. Michigan State is not pretty, I will admit, but I think they have one guy that can score. His name is Tyson Walker. I think they have a good point guard in AJ Hoggard, and I think they have others around him that are way more talented than what North Carolina has to offer. So I'll take. It's a very small line. I don't love that, but I think Michigan State can get this job done. I'll take 3.5 because we're picking each game, and I think UNC in Charlotte taking a loss would be absolutely hilarious. Sorry to at Davis rant. Anything
No
more you like?
no further questions.
Your Honor. Thank you. Okay, we'll move still in the Spectrum Center. We'll go Texas and Tennessee. My alma mater, who I definitely did not pick to get to this game. But Tennessee is 6.5 point favorite. Looks like it opened six, total at 148, has fallen to 146.5.
Rick Barnes game. We got it.
Lot of retribution here potentially.
Yeah, it's a weird game.
Why? Why is it weird?
No, you have I mean, first of all, same colors basically.
Okay. Not that weird. Shout out Graham Sheetsberg. See you there.
Um Second of Rick Barnes revenge game.
Definitely.
Tennessee absolutely stomped St. Peter's. I did not watch a second of that game.
I watched a little. It was ugly, fast.
Yeah. Texas played. I mean, Colorado State. Let's talk about that for a second. They hold West Virginia to 14 points in the first half, and then they put
Regular
a
Virginia, not
up a
West.
11.
Regular Virginia, not West.
Yeah, well, I think people know who I was talking about. They put a up an 11 spot, Griffin, against your Texas Longhorns after getting out to an 8-2 start. Mountain West isn't good, dude. Mountain West Ben, he called me tonight. His legs, he's dangling off a bridge.
Really?
He's about to jump.
Why?
Yeah.
He didn't back the
Well,
Utah State Aggies, the little
he drove
conference champion.
he drove over this morning. He doesn't know about that. He doesn't know about that yet.
That's serial monogamous. I swear to God, we need to put him out
I
to
haven't told him
pasture.
yet. Yeah, he still thinks it's 0-3. Listen, I think Tennessee rolls in this. Your Longhorns suck. Max Amos is going to be able to do it. Tiso isn't going to be able to do it. I think Rick Barnes enacts his revenge and just puts his foot on your throat, and then he storms the Alamo.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a Rick Barnes thing, but I'll take the 6.5 on Tennessee as well. We'll move next to
And then he
another
burns all your churches.
great. Hopefully I'm in it. We'll move next to Oregon and Creighton in the PPG Pace Arena in Pittsburgh. And Creighton at Big East Bend, they're a 5-point favorite, total 146. Looks like it opened -6. It's fallen down to 5, but the total has remained at 146.
Okay, Griffin,
Okay.
you're in the gym. Okay. And you see a guy, you're benching, okay?
I
You're benching and you're trying to max out, but you're kind of a loner.
what
And
what what weight am I benching, by the way?
you're going for 205. So you really bulked up this winter.
Ooh, that's big. That's bigger than I can do. Keep going.
Okay. So you don't have many friends in the area, so you go to the gym by yourself and you're too
That's never. I
self-conscious to
always.
ask for a
I always
spotter,
have.
so you're doing this
No,
yourself.
no. I always have
But
friends.
it
Done.
but but if you're like, if I arch my back enough and bounce it off my chest hard enough, I'll be able to get this.
Ooh.
So it goes
Yikes.
down and you start struggling, and the bar's, getting up to here, and you're running out of juice. And you look to your left, and there's a guy that looks like Ryan Cockburn.
Cock breath.
Right. And there's a guy that looks like, you look to your right, and there's a guy that looks like Infale Dante. Which direction are you screaming towards to
And
ask for
Folly, get
trade?
over here.
It's simple that it's simple as that. Give me Oregon in this game. I think they're going to dominate. I think Creighton's going to choke. Like, they're going to eat inside. Give me Oregon +5.
I don't know if I mean, thank you for that long-witted example, but I think Oregon is living up to expectations for a Dana Altman team. It's a little bit of a weird scenario for Dana Altman coaching against Creighton, who he left for Oregon. If anyone remembers that, even though I think he was going to leave the season before that for a Nebraska job, maybe, or somewhere else. Interesting. I think there's a little bit of a weird scenario there, but I don't believe Creighton's going to win by 5 points. I think I'll take Oregon. I think Creighton, there's a good chance that they win, but don't cover the spread. So I'll take Creighton, or excuse me, I'll take Oregon with you. Move to the nightcap in the PGPG Paints Arena. We'll go Oakland and NC State, 14 seed versus an 11 seed. Opened 5.5 point favorites. Now NC State is 6.5 point favorite. Total was 146. It's now climbed to 146.5.
Oakland. Um, Over under 4 people. I told. Listen.
I'm listening.
I've talked to about 6 people. I've I've talked to like 6 people today about the tournament. Um, I crave conversation. I want to talk to people. You stiff my calls. So I ended up having like, a lot of like phone conversations and FaceTime conversations with people that are not as uh on top of college basketball as me and you are.
Mm,
5 people, all 5 people I talked to thought Oakland was in Oakland, California.
as they would.
My wife thought Oakland was in Oakland, California. My neighbor thought Oakland was in Oakland, California.
What did Mountain West
This
Bend
is
think?
Mountain West Ben is dead. He killed himself this morning before the San Diego State and Utah State games. I tried to
Oh,
tell you. I don't want to bring it up. He went
R.I.P.
on a
Not
bender
best
last
friend.
night.
I'm sure
Yeah,
he had
he's
a
dead.
great
He's never
time.
coming back.
Him and Kurt
Any-
Cobain.
Anyway,
Anywho,
what the hell were we talking about?
oh my God.
What a great day.
Obviously,
What a
we're
great day.
talking about Oakland.
Oakland. Everyone thought Oakland was in Oakland, California. Anyway, Jack Golke, great story. Oakland, great story. NC State, like this is just like this is Oregon State winning the Pac-12 a couple years ago. Like NC State's on a mission. They're gonna kill Oakland. Oakland has no answer inside. Kentucky played so stupid, dude. Calipari, John Calipari is one of the greatest con artists of our generation. The guy fucking paid players at UMass. He runs to the Nets. He has his own employees call in for him on sports talk radio shows and say, "Hey, John Calipari, he's great. What are you talking about? He's a bad coach." He runs to Memphis. He develops a limp. He takes Derrick Rose's SATs. He loses the championship game. He goes to the program with the most money they spend on college basketball, and he wins one championship in how many years? Yinzer.
Yeah, his 1-4 record, which should be 1-5, but he didn't make an NCAA tournament. So I consider him 1-5 in the last 5 years of the NCAA tournament. Pretty gross. I'm gonna
Griffin, that
go.
no Griffin. The championship was like 2012. He's not. Anthony Davis was a long, long time ago. He
Yeah, he,
sucks. He's not. He's dead. He's dead.
he's dead. I'll take NC State -6.5 as well. I think that DJ Burns, that there's no one that could stop him. I also think that Kevin Keats is just literally just getting a big contract extension. We can bet against him next year. We'll move to the CHI Health Center in Omaha, Nebraska for Duquesne and Illinois. Looks like Illinois a 10-point favorite. Open 9, so it's climbed a little bit. Total was 148 and it's still 148. Do you believe in those Dukes to get another upset victory?
Maybe not a victory, but I think they keep it close. I mean, Illinois has not proven that they can play consecutive halves of like really good basketball to blow a team out. I mean, I know they, eventually pulled out versus Morehead State, but Griffin, they were down at halftime, I believe, to Morehead State. Uh,
Preston
um,
Spradlin, he's got a great strategy.
yeah, so I love the Dukes. I love Mike D'Ambrio, whatever his name is, LeBron's high school coach,
Keith Dambro,
Keith D'Ambrio.
not Mike, not Mike.
Yeah, not Mike D'Antonio. That's what I was thinking of.
No.
Um, anyway, I like the Dukes keeping this one close. I think they're athletic. They look like a real basketball team, like
Whoa.
Sanford, which was like they're athletic. They're lengthy. I like their point guard. I love Day Grant. Um, I like you. I'll take Duquesne.
So Duquesne was predicted to win the A10 before the season started. They did not
Yeah.
deliver on those expectations during the season, but they finished sixth in the conference tournament and ended up running all the way to the title. I'll take Duquesne +10 right there with you. We'll move to the nightcap in that same, or actually, it's a little earlier game. My bad. Washington State and Iowa State. Looks like Iowa State opened 8-point favorites. They're down to 6.5. Total is 129. It's now 128.5 points.
I'm not going to bet this game. If I was going to give out a pick, you said 128.5.
That's right.
I'll go over.
Say that one more time, please. You seem to spaz out your connection.
Over 128.5.
Over 128.5. I'll take
I don't
Iowa.
really care. I don't really care about these two teams. They go nowhere. Okay. Let's be honest. Washington State, Iowa State, they're going nowhere. Let's talk about teams that matter. Let's talk about teams that are going somewhere.
Wow. Uh I don't know what perch you've come in on, but Iowa State's about to win this whole tournament. So I will take Iowa State 6.5 point favorites. They're going to beat Washington State by 28 points, just like they did Houston. We'll move next to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. We already talked about Utah, about Dayton and Arizona. We'll go to the next one, and that is Gonzaga, a 4.5 point favorite, opened four, but climbed to 4.5. Total 151.5 points. Gonzaga against Kansas.
Zags. McNeese State, 30 wins. Will Wade, blah, blah, blah. That game was over in a heartbeat. Gonzaga is a wagon. And Kansas was a wagon. If you didn't notice, they're missing a few parts. Kansas is that big, shiny Cadillac that you buy down in South Florida and you think you got a really good deal on, and they're going places and it's low mileage, and you're driving it back up to your place in uh, Long Meadow, Massachusetts, and it
You
dies on you in
mean
South Carolina.
Milwaukee? You mean you're driving out to Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Wisconsin, is that what you're saying?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's say Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It dies on you. It dies on you, not past the Cincinnati River. That is this Kansas team. They have no depth. They have a shitty engine. You saw it against Sanford. Sanford wasn't a real team. They had the 5'8" Bagel Boss as their point guard. Like, they look like a rec league team, and they covered against Kansas because Kansas runs out of gas. Nick Timberfake, Hunter Dickinson, you wear makeup. You get your beard trimmed up before every freaking game. You have a personal barber. You're soft. KJ Adams, you're really jacked, but you're not really skilled. Kansas is short. It's a short team. It's a short team. And you look at this talent dispersion over that short team, it burns down. Give me Gonzaga.
Wow. If we had any Kansas fans that were listening to this episode, they're gone now forever and ever. But thank you for tuning in. KJ Adams, super athlete, and he's from Austin, so I wish he went to Texas, but he did not. I will agree with you, and I'll play Gonzaga -4.5 because I think they win by a landslide. Uh,
Landslide.
I feel like we've hit the end of the games we needed to get to today. We hit Michigan State, North Carolina. What's your pick on that one?
I like North Carolina. You like Michigan State.
Correct. We went Texas, Tennessee,
I like Tennessee.
as do I.
Are you taking Longhorns?
No, I'm not. Never. Oregon, Creighton.
All right, let me just write that. Let me just write this down for the bracket. Oh fuck!
Watch
Let's
your
do a work
watch your
computer.
mouth. Watch your mouth. We have kids listening to this episode.
All right, hey Griffin. Why don't we take a second to pat ourselves on the back?
Oh
Okay,
yeah, go ahead. If you're not patting us on
we
the
had a
back just
great day
yet,
one.
hold on. If you're not patting us on the back just yet while you prepare that, go make sure you hit the follow button on Instagram or on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. It's huge for our search rankings. And the more that we of those we get, we'll record more of these episodes, especially late night when I've had 15 beers.
So over days 1 and 2, picking
Hmm.
12 games a day, me and you won a combined 31 and 17. That is 65%.
Hell yeah.
We went seven. We went 7-1 on best bets. We
Hell
hit
yeah.
Duke. We hit UAB. We hit Michigan State. We hit Sanford. We hit NC State.
Hell yeah.
We hit Gonzaga. I'm missing one of yours.
No chance I remember it. What did we lose?
What did we lose?
We lost Drake. I know that. That was one of my
We
best
lost
ones.
Drake. We lost Drake. We lost Drake.
Yeah.
And Who's the other?
Um, I don't think it's that relevant. All I know is if you follow the Need for Seeds on Twitter, you'll see as we like to put out our notices when we do really well, especially because we do really well all the time. So if you're not following there, at the Need for Seeds podcast on Twitter, at the Need for Seeds, make sure you hit that if you're following stuff because you want to make sure when we put out an episode, I try to put them out as much as I can as soon as I possibly can. Ben's usually pretty good about managing that Twitter account and putting them out right away as well. So make sure you follow at the Need for Seeds, as you should follow at Big East Ben, as you should follow at the Real underscore G Warner to make sure that you're with us every time we put something out. You got something over there? Or are you just thinking?
Just look at the records, okay? The records are there. I maintain the records. I made the graphics. They are we're true because we put them out when we win and we put them out when we lose,
We
and
do.
we're having a great last 2 weeks, okay? And we've had a great year, and I want this thing to grow. And yeah, I don't know. It was a great 2 days. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. So I think it's time for our best bets. And you have to have a number one pick, the best bet, the pick that at Piggy Spend will live or die upon for this Saturday slate of the, I guess, round of 32 across the multiple regions across Charlotte and Pittsburgh and Omaha and Salt Lake City. Do you have a best bet for the people on this Saturday? March 23rd, as we record this at 1:53 a.m. Central Time, 2:53 Eastern, 12:53 in the Mountain Time, and 11:53 because I guess it's still the 22nd of March in LA World.
Go Zags.
Yeah. Okay. So at Pinky
Yeah.
Spend is giving you, I don't have a phone that has any memory to record any of these videos, unfortunately. And I'm amazed that we're still nowhere near the end of our time, but I guess good for us. At Pinky Spend, we'll take Gonzaga minus 4.5 against Kansas in the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. For my best bet, it's hard to say which way to go. There's some big favorites in this card, I gotta say, and usually, I mean, this year I've been betting favorites more so than any year before. It's worked very well on home courts. It's not worked extremely well. Well, I think it's actually worked very well for me for favorites this year. Road underdogs have been a big problem for me, and I'll admit I'm not so much into those. But for my best bet on this episode, Big East Ben, he gave you Gonzaga, a 4.5 point favorite to Kansas. For my best bet, I'll take in that same region, early start, I'll take Dayton a 9 point underdog against Arizona. I think Arizona is a very, very uh vulnerable favorite, especially at a 9 point favorite or a 9 point underdog on the Dayton side, where uh, teams stop fouling usually around 9. Not so much of a concern at the end of the tournament, but I think Dayton State hangs in this game. I think Ron Holmes is going to cause a lot of problems for Arizona. I think it's very possible that Dayton wins this game straight up. So I'll take Dayton plus
I like
9.
it.
Make sure you grab Gonzaga minus 4.5 at Big East Ben's best bet. And we'll see you all tomorrow night for Sunday's action of the NCAA tournament. Do you have anything you want to leave us with at Big East Ben?
Yeah, one sec. So again, we are 20. What's our record? Sorry.
You're calculating, so it's up to you.
Our record on best bets 7-1. 7-1. We hit Michigan State, we hit UAB, we hit Duke, hit NC State, we hit Sanford, we hit Gonzaga. Only loss was Drake. Okay. 7-1 in best bets.
That sounds like
64%.
85% to me.
85%, 64% through the first 2 days. I'm gonna put out the graphic tomorrow. Let's ride. Let's close this weekend strong. I'm having a great time.
I mean, we still have another day. Are you kidding me? We're gonna crush this, and then we still have Sunday to win some bets too.
And guys,
And girls, people.
Marquette Final Four. The pass there. The
What
pass there.
what about Marquette Final Four?
So with our lovely John Calipari and our lovely Grant McCaslin getting kicked out, we face the Buffaloes, the hometown team where I'm currently at. I'm actually Griffin. I think I'm one of the only few non-college basketball media personalities that have seen Marquette and Colorado play in person this year. Like I have to be one
I
of the
mean,
few.
let's be real. Those college media personalities, they literally strum their fucking guitar. They don't actually listen or watch any games. They just like do their own thing and take their kids to tea parties.
Yeah, so unless there's like a like the, I don't know, the Big East and Pac-12 like shares some like low-level announcing crew, I'm probably the only one who's seen both teams in person.
Probably keep going.
Anyway,
So what do you have to say about that?
well, I want to say more of my energy for tomorrow night, but um,
Nope, nope. It's time now.
I like Marquette. I like Colorado's a great team. 102 points is no joke. They also gave up 100 points, but you know, Colorado's not a team. Colorado's not a team. They haven't beat anybody this year. Yes, they beat Florida without their center. Best wins after that, Washington State at home, Oregon on the road, who they dropped to the Pac-12. They are loaded. Colorado's loaded with talent.
They are.
They got a lottery pick. They got a Lampkin. They got De Silva. They got Cody Simpson. They're not a team. Okay. Tad Boyle is not a good coach. He looks like a guy on his third job in his 5 years post divorce,
Ooh, ouch.
and he's selling insurance from Northwestern Mutual. Okay.
I mean, I don't want to slight any of the
Marquette's
listeners that might sell insurance and might work for the hallowed Northwestern Mutual. All I know is that Marquette is a 3.5 point favorite to kick to Colorado.
and I know Marquette's going to cover that spread because Marquette is back. Okay.
Tyler Kolek is fine.
Did you see my tweet at you?
Nope.
He basically had the best tournament game since Dwayne Wade in 2003 of any player in a Marquette uniform.
Right, but like a very low bar to overcome for any Marquette player,
Look,
you know?
look, dude, they're not going to lose to Colorado. Okay. Like, Colorado's not a team. I live out here. I know them. Okay.
Yeah, because you went to
It's
one
a
game
real
against
team.
Arizona.
I've
You went to
watched them.
one game
I've
against
watched.
Arizona, they got blown out.
I've watched them more than I've cared to watch them, dude. They are not a team. They're not a unit. There's no movement. There's no Christmas. There's like
Hmm.
it's a product of their conference. I
How
saw Colorado
many
get
at Big East Ben, at Marquette 84, how many NBA players projected does Marquette have?
two.
Who are they?
Oso Ighodaro, and I think Tyler Kolek will probably get drafted by the Heat
Yeah,
if they don't spend their second draft pick
in
on Jack Golke.
in the in the 15th round.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude. Hey Griffin,
it's
hey Griffin, hey Griffin, hey Griffin, hey Griffin, hey Griffin. Do NBA players win championships?
they do.
Yeah, but they're not forecast to be NBA players. Then they win championships, and then they become NBA players. Jalen Brunson was nothing. Dante DiVincenzo was nothing.
Wow.
They
Wow.
win championships and they improve their draft stock. Will be a pro. Oso will have a much longer and much fruitful career than Mask Man on Colorado.
I mean, Cody Williams, his brother is a pro. I feel like that has gotten him and earned him a bunch more accolades than he deserves. But he is very high on the NBA draft lottery type of projections. I'm not sure his plays deserved it in this tournament, to say the least. But I also think KJ Simpson, their point guard, is an NBA player. So that to me is a concern Also, Marquette only a 3.5 point favorite to Colorado. Big concern. Should be bigger than that from a 2 versus a 10 seed, especially off a first four team. I mean, that doesn't
Yeah, that's
say
what we call an
everything.
edge. That's what we call an edge. So why don't you take Marquette?
I don't
Why
want
is
to take
that a
Marquette.
concern? It sounds like an opportunity.
I mean, it certainly could be. I think, as you know, I have a lot of questions about Shaka Smart. I think Tad Boyle is one of the best coaches in the sport, even if you think he looks like he sells insurance for Northwestern Mutual. I think this is going to be a very close game. I think 3.5 might be too small for me to play Colorado. But it is certainly not a number that I would feel comfortable backing Marquette with. I mean, if it fell to 3, I think I'd probably look towards the Marquette direction because I feel like most of the time, if you're betting a team to win, they probably should win by more than 3 points. But I think this is going to be a big problem. I think Eddie Lampkin can cause some problems for Iguodaro. It doesn't sound like a really good matchup on the defensive end for Lampkin, but I do think that Iguodaro is a little bit lacking on the defensive end himself. He's very long, very lean, and I think that struggles with a bulky type center. But we'll see what happens. I think 3.5 is probably too short for me to play Colorado, but I think it indicates where the market feels about this game, which I think they think it's going to be a toss up.
Yeah, I think Shaka will switch Oso on to Cody Simpson, and we'll let Stevie Mitchell just eat Eddie Lampkin's lunch. Go Honey Badger.
Stevie
Marquette rolls
Mitchell
to
at
this
six
one.
foot three on a 6'9" Eddie Lampkin.
Yeah, Marquette doesn't switch. Stevie Mitchell is playing Dion Klingon and Edie in those matchups.
Oh, I feel like they always switch. I thought they I thought they switched every screen.
No.
Okay, well, I mean, we have more to come on this episode. We got only a few minutes left on this one, so we'll talk about this in long depth and detail probably on the Saturday night episode as Ben potentially tries to do the last podcast before Marquette reaches the Sweet 16. Until then, thank you for tuning in. Please, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that button on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review. Same for Spotify. If you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon would be really great because there's a lot of content coming out there. Make sure you're at Big East Ben on Twitter as well, at the real underscore G Warner, of course, across all platforms. And we will see you tomorrow night for a late Saturday edition, maybe Sunday edition of the Need for Seeds College Basketball Podcast presented by the Bet in the Pitch Podcast Network. We'll see you all very soon. Thank you for tuning in and good night.
Great first 2 days.